YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek Goodness, my little channel web for all things geeky and cool, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the Funko review and unboxing video. Now, I talked about this guy on a very recent toy hunt. We just started doing toy hunts again. As far as the beginning of the week when I shot that particular video, I located this guy that you see on your screen right now. The Deadpool 30th anniversary Deadpool popping out of a cake, the 7-Eleven version. But before I go to anything, I want to thank all my viewers and subscribers who are watching my content still. If you're someone new, never watched any of my content before, please click the like button at the bottom of the page and click that subscribe button with a picture of my face. When you subscribe to the channel, it will definitely help this video get shown on YouTube and go across their platforms where people looking for this sort of content can find it. So I'm basically doubling down on this particular pop, mainly because I did a really quick review on that toy hunt, and there's a lot really going on under the hood based on this particular pop that you may not really think about. When I'll talk about further, we get them particularly unboxed. But right now we're in our breakdown segment, and the very first thing we do in a breakdown segment is look at the packaging and presentation. As I mentioned before, this is a 7-Eleven version of Deadpool 30th anniversary of him popping out of a birthday cake. This is what they call the quote-unquote metallic version of Deadpool. I'll put a picture up on your screen right now so you can see what the normal version of this pop looks like. It's identical as far as the construction goes. The buck they use is the same identical vinyl figure. The big change for this being A, it's a 7-Eleven exclusive, and B, it's being metallic. So those are the big changes for this particular pop, and there's a lot of pros for this, and it'll make sense further into the breakdown segment. Let's talk about the packaging first. We got, of course, the pop logo right here, just says pop. We have the cool Deadpool logo, pop number 776, nice sort of window box design that we've seen for Funko designs before for this sort of scale. A shot of him kind of cut off, of course, like normal pops have, with basically a shot of his sword. The all-important 7-Eleven sticker. Now, if you happen to find this particular guy in the wild and he does not have this sticker, you can reach out to Funko and say, listen, I ordered this at 7-Eleven. Show basically a picture of your pop and let's say a receipt of the purchase. And what they will do is they will comp you a sticker. They'll send you the sticker so you can put it on the packaging. I did that with my Stone Cold Steve Austin. They did in fact send me that sticker. I did place it on the packaging. They will do that as a one-off deal because this does happen where they kind of screw up and forget to put these stickers on the packaging. Going further, we have, of course, Deadpool in a cake at the bottom here. Over here, we have a shot of Deadpool popping out of the cake. Now, this shot right here is the same one as the pop. That's a common version. Don't let that confuse you where you think it might look different. This is, in fact, the identical image they use for the common version. Over here, we still have Deadpool in a cake, same sort of deal. And at the back of the packaging, we have all the characters who are part of this quote-unquote 30th anniversary of Deadpool. A lot of cool characters here. Him doing the barbecue right there, the T-Rex version of Deadpool, Deadpool doing some LARPing action here, but all in all, a pretty good pop. Let's take a look at it on the turntable spinning around in 360 so you can see what it looks like. Again, really cool pop. A lot going on under the hood, as I mentioned before, which we'll talk about shortly when I get them out of packaging, because a lot of people don't really kind of understand what my take is with this particular piece. I talked about it briefly on that toy hunting video, which you can find on the channel. I'll put a link at the top of the screen so you can check out the toy hunt where I found this particular guy, because there's a lot really going on once you get past all the glitz and glamour of this pop. A lot of people don't really think about it in a different perspective, which I'll talk about that shortly. So let's get it off the turntable here, put him back right here at station so you can see him, and get him out of packaging. All right, guys, we have our Deadpool bursting out of a cake 7-Eleven version, the metallic color scheme out of packaging. The next thing we do to take a pop out of packaging is we look at the paint and articulation. As I mentioned, this is not the common version of the Deadpool pop. The big difference, of course, would be the color scheme on the cake. Some of the accents and the swords themselves are all metallic. Deadpool himself is not metallic. This is the traditional color Deadpool with the black, red, and white deco. This is how he normally looks. But there's a lot really going on under the hood, as I mentioned before in the beginning of the video, that people don't really put their finger on. They don't put their finger on the pulse of what I think is really going on here. So let's really take a closer look at Deadpool here. Looks great, bursting out of the cake. Again, this is very similar to the common version of the Deadpool pop. The difference, again, is the color scheme. The cake, the accents on the cake, the black and the red are in sort of metallic. This kind of sheen here you see on the bottom of the cake, 30th anniversary, and the swords themselves, the deco of the swords, not the style of the swords, same katanas, but the gold trim and the silver have all been redesigned with this metallic look to it. So that's the biggest change for him. Again, he is a 7-Eleven version, meaning there's a lot less quantity for the 7-Eleven version than there should be for the common version, which you can get anywhere itself. 9 times out of 10, go with the exclusive if you can get your hands on it. Usually it would retain a higher value on the secondary market later down the road when this pop eventually gets vaulted. Of course, vaulted means when they stop making this particular pop down the road, they'll stop making productions of it, and anything that's still left there is the only way you can get those pops. That's when they go vaulted. Usually the price is exponentially increased on the secondary market. Just be aware of that. But again, there's a lot going on. He is, like I mentioned before, bursting out of the cake. The accents for that silver deco, the metallic deco rather, comes from the ruffles as well here. The candles are in the black and red Deadpool theme. One thing you didn't really notice when I talked about it before on the toy hunt is right here, these little ruffles where they kept it pinned to the cake. That is Deadpool's face right there. I didn't notice that before, but that is Deadpool's face, is his logo right there going across the bottom tier of the cake. Looks really, really good. Love the way he looks. And of course, he is a bobblehead. We've mentioned this before many, many times. All Star Wars pops and Marvel pops, because of licensing rights and restrictions, that's why they become bobbleheads. If you're asking, Rook, why are bobbleheads? I never heard about that before. I just got into Funko collecting. That's the reasoning why. It allows them to kind of skirt around licensing restrictions by making them bobbleheads, like this guy right here. You can move. There is articulation technically with this guy. The head will move. It doesn't spin like a normal Funko Pop would spin around 360. It is on a spring, as you see it right here. That gives it its bobble. You can move this head to make him point into a different direction by picking the head up and adjusting the spring. So he'll look left or right or behind. So you can, in fact, make this adjustment. It's just a pain in the butt to switch it back and forth. Now, one piece I really want to talk about, and as mentioned before at the beginning of the video, people kind of skirt past this idea, and I talked about it briefly on the toy hunt, is that he very much reminds me of a Pop Deluxe. Well, Rook, what the hell is a Pop Deluxe? A Pop Deluxe, basically they don't have a physical definition of Pop Deluxe. A Pop Deluxe usually means you have a body of a Funko Pop, like a head and the arms like you see here, but the lower portion of the character is usually inside some type of vehicle, spaceship, car, truck, something along those lines. An example of Pop Deluxe would be my Slave 1 Boba Fett here. Hopefully you can see him. There he is right here. So usually this is what would be a definition of a perfect Pop Deluxe. It's a character that is the top of the character. Right here you see the head and the arms, but the body, the bottom of the character is attached to a spaceship, in this case, Slave 1, with this huge, massive base. This was I believe a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive a couple of years ago, had a price point of $40 US. I just want you guys can see the difference, or what I'm getting as an analogy between a Pop Deluxe and this Deadpool Pop. Very, very similar sort of idea, but again, he's coming out of a cake. The bottom portion of the character is the cake itself, much like the bottom portion of Slave 1 is the bottom portion of the Boba Fett character. Very similar idea. That's what I'm going at with this, guys. It's very similar to a Pop Deluxe, but doesn't command a Pop Deluxe price. This guy here had a price point of $40 US because he was a convention exclusive and they charged a high premium for him. This guy, not so much. I believe it was a $20 pop. I could be incorrect about the price. I believe it was $20. Same thing with the Stone Cold Steve Austin. They charge a higher price point because of licensing to get those into 7-Eleven, so they tack on that price to the consumer, to you and me. That's the idea. But I believe this guy feels like a Pop Deluxe. He is not coming across a Pop Deluxe, meaning the packaging doesn't say anything about Pop Deluxe. So I believe, in my personal opinion, he basically kind of is pigeonholed into that box of being a Pop Deluxe. Just my thoughts there. Again, we'll take another quick 360 of this guy so you can see him on the turntable spinning around. Again, very cool pop. Like it. Didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. Going through the toy hunt and really taking a step back from this and going, okay, that makes sense now. My logic is basically sound. Again, using the idea of the Slave 1, we put him back right here. Similar sort of idea, spaceship, lower body is a vehicle, or again, some type of thing that's not the bottom of the character. Same sort of idea as that Boba Fett. I'm just taking an analogy based off of that, transitioning it to this, so it makes a bit more sense. So I hope you can understand where I'm coming at here with this, guys. So that, in a nutshell, is the Funko 7-Eleven Deadpool popping out of a birthday cake metallic version. My final thoughts on this is I would buy this if you can. If you're interested in Deadpool, definitely pick it up. It's a cool pop. Buy this one 100% over the normal version if you can find this guy. I think personally speaking, down the road, this would retain more value than a normal version. I would say 9 times out of 10, if you're a betting person, it's good to put your money on this as opposed to the normal version. If you had a choice between either of the two, go with this one if you can find it. If you can't, go with the normal version. So I do hope you like this video review again of the Deadpool coming out of a cake 7-Eleven version. Remember to click that like button bottom page, click that subscribe button picture of my face. When you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon below for my latest videos. And of course, last but not least, you can click Windows over here to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. See you next video, and bye-bye.